Mangle is one of the most frightening animatronics when it comes to the character's design. After the first appearance of the animatronic in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, this horrific, mangled, and mishmashed animatronic would become popular enough to work its way into other games, even appearing in both the augmented reality mobile game Special Delivery and the virtual reality game Help Wanted. Probably because it's an animatronic that usually is efficient when it comes to eliciting jump scares out of players. Welcome back, my fellow gamers. My name is Amanda McKnight and this is Top 10 Gaming, and we're going to be looking at some of the reasons why we all find Mangle so terrifying as we count down the top 10 scary Mangle FNAF facts. We also will just get to learn a bit more about our lipstick wearing friend Mangle as well. As always, be sure to stick around to the end of this list where we will have some bonus content coming your way in the form of comment responses. But for now, let's get counting. Number 10. First appearance. Mangle first appears in the game Five Nights at Freddy's number 2. This might not sound like a scary fact to you, unless that is that you've actually played FNAF 2, because then you probably know what I'm talking about. FNAF 2's more open concept office with no doors to protect you to many fans has always appeared more frightening. And add in that when Mangle does get to you, they attack from above, and you've got a great nightmare scenario just waiting to infiltrate your dreams. Number 9. No eye patch. How is it possible that the loss of Foxy's iconic eye patch and Funtime Foxy's eyes makes Mangle more scary? And yet, it does. Instead of having both of their eyes or the iconic Foxy Pirate-esque eye patch and hook, Mangle is often depicted as having a single eye, with the other being seen as having fallen out and laying next to it on the ground of Kid's Cove, or as having no eyeballs at all, just little pinprick pupils of white light peering out at you. Somehow, the lack of eyes or eye patch covering that light makes Mangle appear even more terrifying in comparison to the other Foxy models. Number 8. Two heads are better than one. Some may have also noticed that Mangle comes with an extra head. The head often appears to be attached to the end of one of Mangle's limbs, and while some suspect the endoskeleton extra head belongs to another animatronic version of Chica's cupcake that belonged to Mangle when I guess they were properly assembled, others have a better theory. Being that Mangle is obviously a similar model to Foxy, some think that this was Mangle's parrot companion. The only strange thing is that Funtime Foxy, who Mangle seems to more closely resemble, did not have a parrot. Either way, it seems a little odd that this endo head exists as part of Mangle, though it does add to Mangle's mutilated and creepy appearance. Number 7. Kid's Cove. When Mangle starts out in FNAF 2, they are in Kid's Cove. From there, they'll progress towards you until they arrive in the office, gearing up to try and attack from above. Now you might think Kid's Cove sounds like a nice little location in this Freddy's, but it definitely doesn't look very nice. The big open room has its own party table with what appears to be little party hats on it, with presents in the corner and decorative posters on the wall. However, it also features exposed wires, and when Mangle appears, will feature the animatronic in a heap in the corner. Not really the expected birthday guest I think any child would have in mind. The room also features a child's drawing of kids playing with Mangle and tearing the animatronic apart. Yikes. Number 6. Exorcist. As if the Frankenstein references weren't creepy enough, Mangle is also capable of completely rotating their head around 360 degrees, so they can in effect pull an exorcist. And this also means no matter where you are, it's likely that Mangle always is able to have an eye on you. Mangle only has eyes for you. Oh, how sweet. I bet it would also be creepy to see Mangle crab walk down some stairs too, like in The Exorcist. I know I wouldn't want to see that when I wake up in the middle of the night. Number 5. Frankenstein Connection. In Special Delivery, it's confirmed that Mangle is basically a hybrid animatronic created from multiple parts of other models mashed together. "I'm now so many pieces of people, all making me the fox I am today," is one of the lines you can hear Mangle say in Special Delivery. Basically, they're like a Frankenstein animatronic. Sort of like Ennard, I guess. And perhaps also like Ennard internally as well. Not only that, but because of the fact that Mangle is made up of multiple bits sort of mashed together, they tend to have pieces fall off of them every now and then, which is also kind of a disturbing thought. So I guess you could just pick those back up and assemble them for them. There you go, Mangle, I'll just put you back together again. Number 4. The Collective. Not only is it confirmed that Mangle is made up of multiple animatronic parts in the mobile game FNAF AR Special Delivery, but it's also implied that they have an internal collection of spirits residing within them. They sometimes refer to themselves as "we" in Special Delivery. You'll hear them say things like "We can hear you," "We can smell you." When they speak, it also sounds like a predominantly female voice speaking, but the shadow of a lower pitched or masculine voice underneath. It sounds like two voices speaking at once, which also leads us to believe that there is more than one consciousness lurking within the mind of Mangle. Number 3. Safe for children 3 and up. Mangle's appearance is one of the most disturbing things about this animatronic. Mangle likely became a very vengeful animatronic, as it is implied by the lines they have in special delivery, due to the animatronic's origins in regards to how it became so disfigured compared to some of the other animatronics at Freddy's. Mangle didn't always look like they do now. Once upon a time, Mangle was a more complete and less contorted animatronic. Unfortunately, due to it being the animatronic used to entertain toddlers, it became mangled, hence the name Mangle. Every day the toddlers would destroy the animatronic, like in the drawing in Kids Cove, tearing it limb from limb, reducing it to scraps. And every night the staff at Freddy's were forced to reassemble it. One day the staff became tired of doing so and decided they would just advertise Mangle as a take apart and put together toy for toddlers to happily destroy and grotesquely reassemble each day. Have fun, kids. No wonder Mangle wants to kill you. It's likely seeking revenge due to it basically being tortured by small children on a daily basis. I wouldn't like it if children tore me apart and put me back together. Number 2. Sweet and sour. Mangle doesn't just seem to have various parts and perhaps spirits residing within them, they also seem to have multiple distinctive personalities living within them as well. One of the personalities specifically seems more sweet, curious, and fun, while another is much more horrific and malicious. While some theorize this is because there are multiple spirits or different bits of remnant combined to create Mangle, it's also possible that this could be due to two completely different sets of programs competing within the animatronic and vying for dominance. One, of course, would be the programming within Mangle to entertain children as a fun and harmless Freddy animatronic, while the other could be the more insidious programming included by William Afton, which ignites Mangle's need and passion for killing kids. It's possible that when Mangle became disassembled on a daily basis, these two sets of programming split, each manifesting their own separate personality within the animatronic. Number 1. Undefeatable. Well, once they are in the office, that is. In FNAF 2, Mangle will make their way to you via the vents. When they arrive at the office, however, if they manage to get in before you can ward them off, preventing them entering by disguising yourself in the Freddy head, they will then remain there for the rest of the night. There is nothing you can do but listen to their weird audio disturbances and wait to eventually be jump scared. It's inevitable. Bringing up the monitor and lowering it again while Mangle is in the office with you will trigger this jump scare, however, if you'd just rather get that whole horrific experience over with. Thanks so much for watching. Who is your favorite Fox-inspired animatronic in the FNAF franchise? What's your favorite adversary in FNAF 2? And which Mangle appearance have you found to be the most terrifying in the games? I'm assuming it's vent repair for everybody from Help Wanted, because that was pretty scary. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 10. William Afton. So, who is the purple guy, you may ask? There are a few theories surrounding this, but one is that he is the man known as William Afton. William Afton is the creator and operator of Afton Robotics Incorporated, which is pretty terrifying considering that is the company that supplied Fazbear Entertainment with their animatronics. Spooky? You bet. You get to visit Afton Robotics in the FNAF game's sister location. Number 9. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Afton is the young daughter of William Afton and the sister to Michael Afton. William created Circus Baby for her, and she is a minor character in the sister location game. She wanted to play with Circus Baby, but her father told her to stay away from the animatronic due to it not being deemed safe enough yet for his daughter. However, when her dad wasn't looking during a birthday party, she snuck off to play with Circus Baby and was lured away from the other children with ice cream that Circus Baby gave her. Circus Baby killed little Elizabeth with a claw that burst forth from her chest. Unfortunately, no one could hear Elizabeth's screams for help over the loud cheering and squeals of delight coming from the other children who were excited over the other animatronics. Ooh. Number 8. Hostile animatronics. Not only did Purple Man potentially make the animatronics if he truly is William Afton, but he was also responsible for messing with the animatronics facial recognition software at Freddy's. In FNAF 2, it is revealed that this was tampered with after William complained about the working conditions of the night shifts, and was moved to the daytime shift as a result. During this time, children went missing, and the animatronics programming was altered to make them act hostile towards employees of Freddy's. I think you see what could have happened next there. Number 7. Michael Afton. Michael Afton is William's son and Elizabeth's brother, who is also known by his nickname Eggs Benedict. In Sister Location, you play as Michael, who is revealed to be on a mission to find his sister and set her spirit free. However, Michael is tricked into entering the scooping room by Enard, who also has Elizabeth's consciousness within it. In the scooping room, you as Michael have your insides scooped out before Enard wears your skin like a suit, so that they may leave the facility and go out into the world. How lovely. It is speculated that Michael may also be the Purple Man instead of William, or maybe in addition to William? Could there be two of them? You decide. Number 6, serial killer. The purple guy has been confirmed as the murderer of at least 5 missing children throughout the games. In the first FNAF game, you discover that he was responsible for luring at least 2 children to the back room, who mysteriously then vanished. Later on in the franchise, you discover via mini-games that he also murdered a child outside of the pizzeria, and that a total of 5 children taken to the back room were killed and stuffed into animatronic suits. Number 5, Springtrap. In FNAF 3, we discover that Springtrap, the game's main antagonist, contains the corpse of William Afton. While fleeing the vengeful spirits of the 5 children that he murdered, he finds himself cornered. Quickly, he thinks to hide himself in a Spring Bonnie suit, being careful to avoid injury. Initially. However, the suit's spring locks malfunction due to water damage and sudden movements that William makes, resulting in him being sliced apart while inside the suit, and crushed by its inner mechanisms. What a way to go. You can still see his remains through the tears in Springtrap's suit. Number 4, Scrap Trap. Scrap Trap is a far more frightening iteration of Springtrap. This version appears in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. The suit now appears to have even more tears and has a more withered looking appearance, missing a limb and with more tendons belonging to the corpse within it visible. Number 3, Rotting Away. Part of the reason why some think that Michael Afton could be the Purple Man is because of the color of his skin. The purple color is speculated to represent his skin rotting away following the scooping room incident in Sister Location, while Michael's consciousness lives on within. In mini-games within Ultimate Custom Night, we witness what happened to Enard and Michael after leaving the facility. We see his skin change from pale to tan to green to brown to almost like this blue and then deep purple. Number 2, Trapped in Hell. It's believed that in Custom Night, where you can customize which animatronics can come at you as you attempt to survive, you are playing as William Afton, who is now trapped in hell, with the never-ending nights that make up the individual games that you play representing William's eternal punishment for the murders that he was responsible for. Additionally, the Old Man Consequences Easter egg has been used to argue the likelihood of this claim. What do you think? Do you think that game is all about you playing as William Afton, you're trapped in hell? Let us know in the comments. Number 1, Father versus Son. After Michael Afton turns purple in the minigames we previously touched on, he starts to convulse and ends up vomiting out the parts of Enard. His empty skin collapses on the ground with nothing to hold it up, and he appears to be dead. However, we then see him miraculously awaken, alive. And if you beat Golden Freddy on Very Hard Mode in Custom Night, you get to find out what happens next in his story. That is, after he left, now with Enard inside him. A cutscene reveals Michael talking to his father in a burned down Fazbear's Fright. Michael explains that he has freed his sister, but at great cost to himself. He should be dead, but finds himself somehow still alive. And he vows that he is coming to find his father. The cutscene finishes with Springtrap popping into the frame. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this list gave you a better understanding of Purple Man and just how tragic and terrifying his character really is, whichever one it may be. How do you feel about the Aftons and the fate of their family? What do you think is the scariest location featured in FNAF thus far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 10, Jointed Fingers. Joints. Plushtrap is kind of odd when it comes to his fingers and toes, as animatronics in the game appear to have 5 fingers and 5 toes. Being a plush version though, he instead has 4 fingers and 3 toes. And in the FNAF VR game Help Wanted, this stayed the same, but his finger design did change slightly, as his fingers now had joints. Why is this scary? His finger joints should allow his hands to be more flexible and agile like a human's, increasing the possibility that he could use his now more adept fingers and hands to tear your flesh if he should catch you. Number 9, Friendly Jump Scare. Plushtrap can sometimes be seen in the FNAF VR Help Wanted game, giving you a jump scare kinda randomly. Though fortunately, at least this jump scare is not one that will result in the player's death. When you are rewarded with a gift box after successfully completing a minigame in Help Wanted, there is a chance that instead of getting a reward, Plushtrap will be waiting inside that gift box to jump scare you. While this jump scare doesn't do any in-game harm to your character, it can still scare you, as you usually aren't really expecting it. After all, you just successfully beat a minigame and it's a gift, so you likely won't be expecting something bad to jump out of it at you, unless you suffer from Dronophobia. Then this might be one unexpected scare that you actually expected. Number 8. Plushie. While most plushies that one sees seem to be adorable and cuddly, Plushtrap is definitely not that. He's a plushie that I'm sure more people would rather do anything than cuddle. He looks terrifying, and for a good reason. He's a murderous little plush. I personally have always found the idea of murderous plushies, dolls, figures more frightening than the idea of a large animatronic murdering me, because plushies are usually kept in bedrooms, and the idea that they could come to life at night and kill you in your sleep is terrifying. More terrifying, I'd argue, than the animatronics in the world of FNAF. At least in most cases with the large entertainment animatronics, you usually interact with them when it is part of your job to actually watch them. So it should be harder, in theory, for them to get at you, as at least you have your guard up. But with a plush antagonist, most stories or games involving them imply that the victim or player already kind of has their guard down, giving a plush foe more of an opportunity to strike. Number 7. Fun with Plushtrap. In FNAF 4, Plushtrap appears in his own minigame, Fun with Plushtrap. This minigame is based around sound cues. If you don't listen carefully, you will fail at the game and get jump scared by Plushtrap, which is pretty scary, let's be honest. The aim of the game is to catch Plushtrap while he's on the X when you turn on your flashlight. Flickering your flashlight on and off when this isn't going on will only slightly prolong you inevitably getting caught by Plushtrap and probably dying. So it is important in this minigame to use your ears as opposed to your eyes, which should be something players are used to at this point, as sound cues have already been established up until now as being mega important in the world of FNAF. And even if you succeed in this game, the pose Plushtrap makes when on the X when you catch him is still pretty frightening. Number 6. Dark Rooms. What's scarier than the minigame featuring Plushtrap from FNAF 4? The same minigame, but in VR. In Help Wanted, you get to revisit the Fun with Plushtrap minigame in the level Dark Rooms, except this time, you feel as though the darkness and the sounds of the minigame are all around you. And any jump scare you suffer, if you fail, will be right up in your face. Too close for comfort. Number 5. Mini Springtrap. Plushtrap might be small, but don't be fooled by his short stature. He is still terrifying. Plushtrap is basically a smaller plush version of one of the most terrifying animatronics in the game, Springtrap. The only thing that keeps him from being on the same level as Springtrap when it comes to instilling fear in the player is that he also appears to be less tattered and obviously does not have a rotting corpse inside him, but he is still pretty frightening given his appearance. He appears somewhat disheveled, has creepy eyes, and lots of small pointed teeth. Also, there is something unsettling about the idea of him being so small. It's easier for him to sneak up on you without you perhaps initially noticing. Unless, I guess, you're looking down all the time. Number 4. Nightmare. While Plushtrap may look similar to Springtrap, this is because both animatronics are based on the Spring Bonnie model. But while Springtrap is a more horrific version of Spring Bonnie, Plushtrap is therefore like a more frightening version of the plush Spring Bonnie. Plush Bonnie is a fairly adorable little plush. So how did the idea of this plush become so twisted as to give us Plushtrap? Well, this is because in FNAF 4, Plushtrap is actually kind of like the unofficial Nightmare version of Plush Bonnie. He doesn't have Nightmare in his name, but his presence in the game has led many players to associate him with the Nightmare group of animatronics and plushies. Our dreams are weird, and when a dream becomes a nightmare, even the cutest plush can become something something terrifying. Number 3, Plushtrap Chaser. In the Fazbear Frights fetch novel, we are introduced to the idea of Plushtrap as a toy created by Fazbear Entertainment in the story Out of Stock. This story follows a boy named Oscar who desperately wants his own Plushtrap Chaser toy and manages to get his hands on a very special one despite them being sold out. More about why it's so special, or in other words, really creepy, later. The Plushtrap Chaser is imagined as a very bizarrely designed toy in the story. Plushtrap Chaser is an electronic stuffed bunny who is programmed to run around in the dark and freeze in the light. I'm not sure why it was designed this way, as it seems like an inherently terrifying idea for a toy, and also seems like it could potentially be really noisy at night when, you know, a family might be trying to sleep or something. Number 2, impersonation skills. Expanding on the idea of what makes the Plushtrap Chaser so terrifying as a toy, but especially the one that Oscar comes across in the story, is that this toy quickly becomes a menace once the power goes out. Plushtrap Chaser also apparently has the ability to use his voice box to alter his voice, allowing him to impersonate or mimic the voices of Oscar and his friends, allowing Plushtrap Chaser to trick the boys while he chases them around the house. Number 1, human features. Okay, so let's touch on what makes the particular Plushtrap Chaser from the story Out of Stock special. Creepily special. Oscar notices that this particular Plushtrap Chaser appears to be different. It has strange human-like features. Namely, its eyes and teeth do not appear to be plastic, but are more humanoid looking. We later find out in the story after the Plushtrap Chaser is defeated that not only did the Plushtrap Chaser's teeth and eyes appear to be human-like, but they were actually the teeth and eyes of a human being. So either someone was killed and their teeth and eyes were then implanted into the toy, or there's a human being somewhere alive who is missing their teeth and their eyes. Both options are pretty freaky. And this whole story is likely one of the scariest explorations involving a version of Plushtrap. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think are some of the scariest things about Plushtrap? Do you find larger animatronics or smaller plushies or animatronics more frightening? And which do you think is the scariest of all the plushies in FNAF? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, tallest. Many believe that Foxy is actually the tallest animatronic in the game. Although it has not been officially confirmed, most people have estimated that he is at least 7 feet tall, being between 7 feet tall and 7 feet and 7 inches tall. Most have come to this conclusion based on constructing estimated heights for the animatronics in the game, using the door frame we see them pop up in, and other location furniture and visuals as height reference. Number 9, Christopher McCullough. Christopher McCullough provided the voice for Foxy the Pirate in the FNAF games, but did you know that he voiced another character in the games as well? In Sister Location, we get to see a little bit of a show called The Immortal and the Restless, a soap opera TV series. Many episodes play following the completion of each shift in the game. The show centers around Vlad, a vampire, and his romantic relationship with a woman named Clara. McCullough also provided the voice for Vlad's character. His credits also include voice work for another popular game, the Marvel Avengers Academy mobile game, where you can hear him lend his voice to that of Avenger Hank Pym. He does it all. He's a vampire, he's a pirate, he's an Ant-Man. Number 8, his sidekick. Some believe the Balloon Boy is actually in cahoots with Foxy, and that the two characters are partners. This is because in FNAF 2, and similarly in the VR FNAF game Help Wanted, Balloon Boy is the one who periodically messes with your lights in the game, periodically making you extremely vulnerable to Foxy's attacks, as though Balloon Boy is working with Foxy and helping him to successfully get to and kill the player. Number 7, power drainage. Something astute players may have noticed, while more casual players may have missed, is the amount at which Foxy actually drains your power. In the first game, if Foxy leaves Pirate Cove and dashes at your door, you have to be quick to respond and close it to prevent him from entering the office and attacking you. If you successfully block his entrance, he'll bang on the door a few times before resetting back at Pirate's Cove. But when you block him, although he obviously doesn't kill you, he still manages to cause you some grief, as his attempt to attack you actually drains your power. The first time he gets to you in a shift, it'll only be 1% that he'll take away from you, but if he gets out again, he'll take another 6% of your power. And if you aren't watchful enough and he escapes Pirate Cove a third time, he'll drain 11% of your battery when you block him that third time, if you manage to block him and he doesn't kill you. Number 6, FNAF 3, Mystery. Before the trailer for FNAF 3 was released, Scott put out some teaser content for fans to enjoy, getting everybody hyped. One teaser featured a character with a golden face who had rows of sharp teeth that appeared to be covered in blood. Due to the sharp teeth, fans suspected this actually might be Foxy, but later when Springtrap was revealed in the trailer, it was actually suspected that Springtrap might have been the one featured in that teaser. However, as we got to see more of Springtrap, we noticed that his teeth were actually not pointed like Foxy. Foxy himself remains one of the only animatronic characters who has sharp teeth in the game. And so, people were left to wonder if this was just a mistake on Scott's part and he changed the design of Springtrap prior to the game being released, or was Foxy simply supposed to have a bigger role that ended up being rewritten or cut. Number 5. Singing! While the animatronics are all musical to a degree, as, you know, they all perform in a band together, Foxy is one of the few that you can hear continuing to sing after hours. That dum-da-dum-dum that you hear, or pum-pa-pum-pum, depending on what you hear, while checking your cameras is Foxy's voice, by the way. And he's either singing to pass the time or singing to creep you out. Either way, in case you were wondering who is singing, it is Foxy. Some of the other animatronics moan, so by comparison, Foxy seems to be in a more pleasant mood, or just have a healthier voice box maybe, when compared to the other animatronics. What's there not to be in a good mood about? It's nighttime, you're walking around, maybe you're gonna kill some people, it's great. Number 4, the Bite of 87. Now, for a long time, people suspected that Foxy the Pirate was the animatronic responsible for the mysterious Bite of 87, first mentioned by Phone Guy in the first FNAF game. This came from the theory that Foxy is of course damaged in that game and is also declared out of order. Not only does he have the perfect sharp teeth to be used in a deadly bite, but his jaw also appears to be injured. He is also separated from the other animatronics and forced to stay behind the curtain at Pirate Cove, as though he were being punished. However, in FNAF 4, it was finally revealed that the animatronic involved in the Bite of 87 was Freddy, who crushed a child's skull during a prank that the young boy's older brother and his friends were playing on the smaller child at his birthday. And that small child is actually believed to be Michael Afton's brother. Number 3, not featured. In the trailer for the first Five Nights at Freddy's, Foxy is actually one of the only original animatronics who does not appear. In fact, it is Bonnie instead that you see running down the hallway in the place of Foxy, who is the one. Some think this is because Scott Cawthon either hadn't designed Foxy yet and would later change the mechanics for Bonnie, having Foxy actually take over the animatronic that sprints, or instead that Scott simply wanted Foxy to be a surprise for us all. What do you think? Do you think he changed his mind, or do you think he just wanted it to be a surprise? Number 2, active on night 1. Some players theorize that Foxy himself was not even active during the first night of the original game because it is very rare for him to come out and attack on that first night. However, others have played to actually test that theory and found that he can attack on night 1, but agree that the chances of this happening to you are very rare. It actually takes a whole minute of gameplay where you don't check your cameras for this to occur to you. But if you ignore him for long enough, then Foxy will still come charging at you, even on night 1. Don't think that you won't see him on night 1 because you might. Number 1, the good guy theory. Foxy is such a fan favorite when it comes to all of the animatronics that you run into in Five Nights that a theory started to circulate around how he might not even be as despicable or evil as we all think he is. Some people theorize that Foxy the Pirate, in the first game at least, was actually a good guy. Why do some people think this? A lot of it has to do with the way his jump scare works. Combine that with people's love of Foxy, and it's easy to see why people have wanted him to be a confirmed good animatronic. Something that Foxy's scream is actually Foxy trying to scare off any other animatronics who are waiting to harm the player in the office, but that the player ultimately still dies because his scream is so loud and startling that your character will have a heart attack. And it's actually the heart attack people theorize that kills you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned some new things about Foxy the Pirate in regards to facts and popular theories regarding his character. Do you like the ideas of Foxy being a good guy? Do you think all animatronics are bad guys all the time? Or do you think all animatronics are bad guys all the time? No questions asked. What is your favorite of the FNAF games? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Shocking Bonnie the Bunny FNAF Facts. Mikey12 comments, I think Freddy is the scariest. He seems almost unpredictable. Bonnie is a cute little bunny boy. Good point. Freddy also seems like the leader of the group, which also makes him pretty frightening when you think about it, because he's kind of, in my mind, in charge of the actions of all of the animatronics in terms of them coming after you. He's kind of like the ringleader. Also, bears are just definitely more scary than bunnies, like in nature, in real life. Plushtrap comments, I have Springtrap plushie. When I get up at 3 a.m. and see it, can't sleep till 6 a.m. Yeah, I think that's what scares me the most about getting those plushies. Like, I have a ton of non-FNAF stuffed animals in my room even, and they already freak me out sometimes if I wake up and I see them like staring at me in the dark with their beady eyes, their beady plastic eyes. So I imagine it would be more frightening with FNAF plushies who, you know, actually have some horror already attached to them. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts shouted out in a future video. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you as always to keep on gaming on. Pew pew! However, others that have played Foxy is such a fan favorite that when it comes to all of the animatronics, Foxy is such a fan favorite when it comes to all of the animatronics that you run into